In Chapter 6 of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest manga, what got adapted in episode 2 of the anime, we got introduced to the 5th generation of Dragon Slayers under the Guild of Diabolos, going by the name of Dragon Eaters. This generation of Dragon Slayers is actually massively different than the generations coming before them, because unlike the other generations who gained Dragon Slayer magic by learning it from a dragon or thanks to Dragon Lacrimas, the 5th generation, as their name suggests, gained their power through consuming the flesh of a dragon, giving a quite gruesome origin for this branch of Dragon Slayers. However, outside their origins, there is one factor that makes Dragon Eaters even more distinctive from the other generations, and that is the fact that they don't possess the main weakness of Dragon Slayer magic. They don't have motion sickness. Motion sickness is the greatest enemy of Dragon Slayers, with even the strongest Dragon Slayer who ever lived, Acnologia, not being immune to it. But for some reason, the 5th generation Dragon Slayers don't possess this weakness. So why are Dragon Eaters not affected by motion sickness? The reason behind why they don't possess this weakness is not explained in the story yet, and most likely never be explained. However, I think I might have figured it out. I believe the reason why Dragon Eaters don't have motion sickness is heavily related to Dragon Force. And I got one good example for why Dragon Force is related to motion sickness. And that is Wendy. When Wendy got introduced to the story, she was also not affected by motion sickness, setting her apart from Natsu. And this was the case for her through the run of the story up to the last 2 arcs of the original manga. She was visibly perfectly comfortable riding vehicles without any issue through the run of the story, even up to the end of the Grand Magic Games arc. However, after the 1-year time skip what happened after the guild got disbanded, Wendy developed a motion sickness without any explanation on why, making her just as much motion sick as Natsu and the other Dragon Slayers like Gajil and the Twin Dragons. Between the Grand Magic Games and the 1-year time skip, we had the Tartarus arc. In this arc, Wendy faced one of the demons of Tartarus called Ezel, who absolutely outmatched her in every aspect. This forced Wendy to go Dragon Force for the first time ever in her life, to be capable to defeat Ezel and to stop the phase bomb from detonating. And from this point on, after the time skip, Wendy have developed a motion sickness just like Natsu. Meaning Wendy using Dragon Force was a key catalyst for her to develop a motion sickness. And this leads us right to the 5th generation and why they don't have motion sickness. In the Guild of Diabolos, Dragon Force is a forbidden technique. Dragon Eaters don't have the antibodies in their bodies to prevent them from turning into a dragon, like the 1st and the 3rd generation do. Meaning, if a 5th generation Dragon Slayer uses Dragon Force, they will slowly turn into a full-on dragon, without them having the ability to turn back to normal. Because of this, no active member of the Guild of Diabolos has used Dragon Force. And if Dragon Force is the catalyst for developing motion sickness, no member of the 5th generation will have motion sickness, as none of them ever used Dragon Force. Those who did were no longer the members of the guild and no longer Dragon Slayers, they were dragons. Some people might say motion sickness is related to how powerful a Dragon Slayer is. However, that theory falls flat, as Gajil was equal to Natsu at the start and he didn't develop a motion sickness till the Grand Magic Games, while Natsu had motion sickness since the start. Cobra was also stronger than Natsu during the Nirvana arc, and he didn't have motion sickness till the Alvarez War. While the 4 Dragon Knights are on par with Natsu and Laxas without any of them having motion sickness. So clearly the strength of a Dragon Slayer has nothing to do with motion sickness, leaving Dragon Force as the more likely answer. I believe when a Dragon Slayer uses Dragon Force, part of their body turns permanently into that of a dragon, resulting in a small anatomical change occurring inside their bodies, resulting in the birth of motion sickness. This might sound like a stretch, however when a Dragon Force is activated, the body of a Dragon Slayer thus became partially dragon-like. So it isn't crazy to assume that it might leave some permanent changes to the Dragon Slayer's body, especially considering how the antibodyless Dragon Force straight up turns the user into a dragon. So in short, the 5th generation of Dragon Slayers don't have motion sickness because they never used Dragon Force before. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section below. This was Space G, don't forget to subscribe and see you guys in space. Bye!